Now pay attention, 007. I've always tried to teach you two things. First, never let them see you bleeding.
And the second?
Always have them escape.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it may be. I'm Christopher Morales, that one Bond guy. And today I have an extremely special video all about my time in the Tampa Bay, St. Pete, Florida area. Celebrate UnivEx 2026, put on by none other than the Bond brothers, their 4th year in a row, all in support of the amazing people at the Special Operations Warriors Foundation. So we're going to talk all about that. We're going to go deep diving into some behind the scene things that weren't recorded, but definitely worth mentioning. And of course, just celebrating the fact that the Bond brothers, Evan and Graham, have done an amazing job. And I had the absolute honor of being part of it. And yeah, there's a little special surprise at the end that I'll be obtaining from a certain Bond brand that I am still over the moon. Cannot believe it happened. But with no further ado, let's go back and talk about this amazing adventure. So day one, obviously I was getting ready to leave early in the morning, coming from the West Coast to head over to Florida. So I got an early 6 a.m. flight to leave from Sacramento, California to connect in San Diego, and then from San Diego to Tampa. However, there was some fog that came in to roll into San Diego early, so that flight that was leaving San Diego to come to pick us up in Sacramento was delayed. And as a pilot, I completely understand the importance of holding off when it comes to fog. But that made me be delayed to go to Tampa, so I had to scramble. Luckily, the airline took care of me and had to reroute me through San Antonio. However, I didn't know that it would also include staying on the plane for 2 stops in between. So really, I went from Sacramento, Salt Lake City to Phoenix, Phoenix to San Antonio, and then finally into Tampa. After 4 flights, 4 airports, I've finally made it to Tampa, Florida. It's time for a Bond Brothers weekend. Look at that, got aquariums and all. I am so excited. Can't wait to get this weekend started. It wasn't too bad considering I was supposed to be in at 4 and I really got in at around 7:30ish. So not too bad. Very thankful that I was able to get in safe and sound. And on Thursday, because the events were going to start happening Friday, I wanted to make sure I had a traveling day. Friday. So that was all about just getting geared up for the champagne toast at the Omega Boutique. But before then, I got to meet up with a very special buddy of mine, Miss Mel, from the Instagram account James Burb. If you haven't followed her, please do. She's so funny. She's so great. Also hosts all the events for Capital Royale in the Washington, D.C. area. So shout outs to her. They have a few events coming up. Check them out. So we actually decided to have a beach day before the Omega Boutique event. On location here on St. Pete Beach, as you can see behind me and quite everywhere, the beautiful white sandy beaches that, quite honestly, coming from California, I've never felt this kind of sand before. It's super soft. It feels like I'm walking on baby powder. Behind me, you can see Mel from James Burb hanging out. We're just going to enjoy a beach day, work on that tan, and get ready before the festivities for the Bond Brothers event, UnivEx 2026. And I am so happy that I had to, because I never experienced anything like this kind of beach. I mean, I live on the West Coast, so we have beaches, you know, about an hour, 2 hours away. However, this is completely different. From the sand being as soft as baby powder and quite frankly, almost as white as it too. And the water it was amazing. It was not cold at all. It was just perfect. So we got to go and just hang out. We met up with a couple of other friends. We just felt like we were kids again on the beach, enjoying some libations and soaking up the sun before the Omega Boutique, which was absolutely needed. So we get to the Omega Boutique and I get to first meet Evan and Graham of the Bond brothers who have put on this event. They've been doing it like I said, for the past 3 years prior to this one being the 4th. And we got to enjoy some champagne, some snacks, and of course, a ton of watches at the Omega Boutique. And the hospitality there was second to none. Everybody was so inviting, and we all were nerding out about Bond stuff, but I also got to meet some other familiar faces and some new friends too. It was a great way to kick off the weekend, but there was also a great presentation that they put on all about the history of Bond, going back from Fleming to the Craig era watches, You know, it was really, really cool to see how enthusiastic the boutique was about sharing this presentation with us. It was really, really well done, really, really fun. After that, we went to a place called the Getaway on the Gandy Bridge. So in the Live and Let Die novel, Bond actually passes by this place, and it was great. It felt like I was escaped to Jamaica. Little golden eye. There was palm trees everywhere, right on the water, and I mean, it was a great place to just cap off the first night. That was Friday. So this is the evening of night one. We're in this beautiful venue, the Getaway here on Gandy, which has a really cool Bond connection, which I'll have two gentlemen come and remind you guys of that Bond connection. I am here in the flesh with the Bond brothers.
Ladies and gentlemen, how the heck are you? Hello, hello.
So this is night one.
Yes, indeed.
Of UnivExFL26. It's fantastic. Had an amazing time at Omega. Awesome. Great history, great camaraderie with everybody.
Yeah.
But this place holds a special Bond connection, right?
Does
Live and
indeed.
Let Die?
Yes, yes. Yeah, so anyone who's read the Live and Let Die novels, you will remember that Bond drives across the Gandy Bridge, heads over the Gandy, heads over to 4th Street, then goes up Central Ave over the Bocaciega Bay, and where he ends up staying, right? So this place right here is located right where Bond passes, right where Ian Fleming wrote Bond to have passed through, and this is the ideal island location for an event such as this. So to support Special Operations Warrior Foundation and to be in the footsteps of Bond and Ian Fleming, you couldn't get better.
So Graham, I gotta ask you, what are you looking forward to most this weekend?
I mean, honestly, it's just the camaraderie and getting to meet new people for the first time that you feel like you've known for like multiple years is amazing. And to see everybody come out and decide to spend their time here, you know, doing amazing, fun stuff, getting to hang out and, you know, see cool watches, go to cool locations. I mean, it doesn't get any better.
Well, you guys do an amazing job. I want to personally thank you for having me be part of this journey.
Dude, we're so glad you're here.
I mean, I've missed out for the last 3 years, but this year is a special year. It's my
This
first
is very
year.
special.
Not the last. I will be back, and I'm so excited to be here. Thank
James
you.
Bond will return, as will you, and we need to get out there to California because you're doing some very special stuff out there. You are holding the line out west, and we got to support them all because, you know, this is what it's about, finding fun people. We all are really the same. We are same, and we are same, but different, but still same.
I'm not editing that, by the way. This is just this is only night one, everybody. So
Correct.
Who knows what's gonna happen tomorrow? We're gonna be at the Don Cesar. So stay tuned. I'll see you tomorrow. Come Saturday. Now this was the big one. Saturday we started off the Pink Palace, as it's known. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you walk in, you feel like you're in the 1950s, 1960s. You go walk around and see everybody in their swim attire, and it kind of gives you a little bit of the Goldfinger vibes from this beginning scenes in the movie, and it just was really, really cool. Now there was the happy hour event. So you walk in, get to say hi to everybody again at the lobby bar, which they had a really, really cool, let me show you, exclusive lobby bar, the Don Cesar menu. So they've curated some James Bond themed drinks. They had a display, Mr. Andy, who had an amazing, literally museum of a collection to show off. And as you're seeing through these pictures and videos that I've taken, he was just a plethora of knowledge. I got to also meet the amazing Matt Sherman, who does the amazing events all over the world. And if you're ever curious, I believe his email is baconbond@gmail.com. Let him know that I sent you, and he'll give you all the details to join him and his group of other Bond fans on various trips. I think my most favorite part of the trip was just enjoying the time at the Don Cesar. Absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and by the way, Fleming spent a lot of time at the Don Cesar. That's where he favored to go whenever he was in the area. So we were literally quite stepping in the footsteps of Ian Fleming, which even added a very special wow factor to the whole thing. There was trivia, there was a cool presentation from Mr. Ryan Chua from Masons and Sons, and also just, again, great camaraderie and food, drinks, and just a great time of hanging out with fellow brothers and Bond sisters. So great time before we went to the secret event. And all the money raised throughout the weekend was 100% donated to the Special Operation Warriors Foundation, which made it even more special because we were giving back. And that's what really blew it over to the top for me, is that amongst all the fun and amongst all the bond, we were doing something good. There were different tiers of tickets. The 00 ticket was the highest one, and that gave you access to the special location, which was another cocktail hour hangout place at this really cool, right up my alley, coffee espresso bar, but like cocktail bar too. So they had coffee, cocktails, they had regular cocktails, wine, champagne, and great music, and right in the heart of downtown St. Petersburg. So it was absolutely beautiful. Again, the great thing was that the weather was absolutely fantastic. I was nervous I was going to be a sweaty mess because of the humidity coming from the dry heat of California, but no, it was perfect. This whole weekend was perfect. Then after the special 00 meeting and location is when we went to the dinner at Rocco Steakhouse. And that was a very, very special place because the food was, again, second to none. The atmosphere felt like you were in a Bond film. I mean, it was great. And then there was also a secondary display of a lot of Andy's collection that was for sale. So great stuff to be seen there. And also a lot of fun to just kind of look at the different items he had from toys from the 60s, puzzles, all this memorabilia that was really rare to find nowadays. That was also the place where the couple raffles that went off. So there's a couple prizes to be won. Two of them were 2 sunglasses from Masons & Sons, the Thunderball sunglasses in tortoiseshell and in regular black. The ones, again, that Sean Connery wears. I think you get the point.
Mel.
Conveniently enough, we also agree. The black or the tortoiseshell? These are the...
Melanie from Burb James Burb won because she did an amazing job. She curated 3 amazing costumes, Bond women costumes, for each part of the event. First, she came to the Omega Boutique in Pussy Galore's Flying Circus cadet attire, which was really, really good. She did a great job. And mind you, she did this all by hand. Second, she wore a really cool sundress that had a lot of octopuses on it to be reminiscent of Octopussy. And then third, she was dressed up an amazing rendition of Electric King. They even brought a prop walkie-talkie, which was great. So she obviously deserving of that prize.
Congratulations. Well done. So hold on. Very well done.
The second pair of glasses went to a gentleman named Mark. As you can see here, he did a great job dressing as Roger Moore in Man with the Golden Gun with the amazing safari jacket, and overall looked very sharp. So again, the first 2 prizes went to the people who really dressed very well and just kept a consistent theme throughout the weekend. Now, the big one. The drawing for the completely customized Mason & Sons suit. Now, every 00 ticket that was purchased instantly got 2 free raffle tickets into that pool. I specifically remember last minute saying, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just throw in another one. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people who had the same idea. So last minute, literally on that day, I went ahead and purchased another raffle ticket. Now, being the content creator that I am, I was recording every moment that I could, especially the winners of the previous 2 prizes. And as you can see by this video, this was the moment that everything changed.
It looks good.
Want to read that? Trust but verify.
Guys are funny.
It looks like it. Is that a P? A Q?
It's like a C.
It looks like Matt Sherman.
Well, we can't read that one. No. Chris.
Phonetically spell it.
Way to go, Chris!
1, 2, 3. I got even a hat here. Love it. Oh, congratulations.
Well done.
I was the winner of the Mason & Sons custom suit. I couldn't believe it. My jaw dropped. I had to hurry and give the phone to somebody because I wasn't expecting to be the one going up there. Nevertheless, it was amazing, and I just am so incredibly thankful to be able to embark on this experience, first time ever. If you were to ask me 3-4 years ago, I would be getting a Mason & Sons suit, I would say that you're crazy. It's always been a dream of mine. You all know from the very beginning, thrifting for Bond, and even to this day, I still do a little bit of that. But always been a dream of mine to have a fully custom suit from a Bond brand, and I couldn't have asked for my first one to be any more special, because it's going to be always tied to this memory, and from a brand that's been so enriched in the heritage of 007. So right then, after dinner, Ryan Chua measured me up. We talked about the details, and I'm going to wait to share with you what I decided to get as a surprise later on. But come Gatherall in LA, the West Coast Gatherall, in July, I'll be doing my final fitting. So around that time, I should be able to give you guys more details on exactly how it's coming along. But nevertheless, I'm so stoked. It's still kind of, I need to be pinched a little bit. So then that brings us to Sunday. Sunday, you know, bittersweet day because it was the last day. However, we had one last mission left, and that was to congregate back in the St. Petersburg area at a very, very awesome British pub called Mad Dogs and Englishmen. Here's their card there. A great place. You can see by the pictures, they did an amazing job really giving that British vibe, and there's so many cool pictures in and around the place. They had memorabilia. They even had some Bond Easter eggs with some of the pictures hung up there. And yeah, again, the food was amazing. I had to get some fish and chips and a few pints of Guinness because it was all a great moment, because we were able to kind of sit back and relax, a bit more casual, and kind of reminisce about the whole weekend and talk about everything and kind of just say our last goodbyes. And I am so incredibly thankful. And I've told Evan and Graham this. They really made this Bond fan's dream come true. I mean, every event that I've gone to is great, but this event that I just came from really felt like home. Felt like a family reunion. It felt like old friends reconnecting, and maybe, honestly, like we never left. That being said, I can only share with you guys what I experienced. You guys need to come out and experience it for yourself. It is safe to say that UnivExFL26 will be happening, and it'll be put on by the Bond brothers. Again, that's Evan and Graham, and they are doing it supporting the Special Operations Warrior Foundation charity. So all great stuff. If there's one event that you need to get ready for next year already, it's definitely this. Great location, great people, and great memories made. And you never know, maybe you'll have an opportunity to win something extremely special too. But all this to say, guys, thank you for watching. This has been an amazing experience, and I'm so happy I was able to encapsulate it all for you guys to share. And I'm just looking forward to the next time I get to hang out with the Bond community, because nobody does it better. I'm Christopher Morales, that one Bond guy. Thank you for watching the video. I'm going to link everything, all the people that I've mentioned in the description below. Give them some love, give them a follow, and definitely stay on top of the next Universal Exports 2027 event coming up next year. So until next time, take care.